Hello and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I am Ogwa Vivian Onyedibia. We begin with the judiciary, where the arraignment of the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Onoge, over allegation of non-declaration of assets at the Code of Conduct Tribunal has been stalled. The development is due to the defendant's application challenging the jurisdiction of the tribunal to hear the matter. Dele Atumbi reports.
Not only is the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Onoge, challenging the jurisdiction of the Code of Conduct Tribunal to hear the matter in the 6-count charge bordering on alleged non-declaration of assets, the defendant was absent in court due to the fact that the motion on notice for his arraignment is yet to be served on him. And under the law in a criminal matter, motion on notice must be served personally on the defendant. Following the objection raised by the counsel to the defendant, Wole Olanipekun SAN, who led other 46 senior advocates of Nigeria in the defense, pointed the attention of the court to the position of the law on service. The argument by the prosecution counsel, Ali Urman SAN, that service was effected on the Chief Justice of Nigeria through his personal assistance was countered by the defense counsel, Wole Olanipekun, who stressed that in criminal matters, service must be personal. As a result of improper service, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Onoge, was not in court to defend himself or for the arraignment. After the tribunal settled the issue of improper service, thereby ordering the bailiff of the court to effect proper service on the defendant, the defense counsel, Wole Olanipekun, pointed the attention of the court to the objection of the defendant challenging the jurisdiction of the tribunal to hear the matter. At this point, prosecution counsel Ali Umar SAN raised the issue of the absence of the defendant in court. Defense counsel Wole Olanipekun SAN, who cited various settled cases relating to the matter, averred that it is not mandatory for a defendant challenging the jurisdiction of the court.
But where evidence is being adduced, where the man will be the person to say guilty or not guilty, he has to be there.
The crowded environment made it impossible to speak with the defense counsel, Wole Olanipekun SAN. The tribunal decided to place premium on proper service between Monday and Wednesday this week. The chairman of the tribunal, Justice Danladi Urman, adjourned the matter to Tuesday, 22nd January 2019. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
And talking politics now, political parties and candidates have been advised to engage the electorate and put their agenda on the table to improve the quality of governance in the country. While assessing the 2019 election campaigns, guests on Good Morning Nigeria said the era of jamboree campaigns should be jettisoned. Murjana to Adam Said tells us more.
Elections campaigns periods are times when political parties and candidates crisscross the country to sell their programs to the electorate. However, observers say many rallies and campaigns by political parties and candidates are sometimes lacking in content, as they are characterized by dances and entertainment, leaving critical questions unanswered.
When you call for debates where you are able to engage the candidates, you find that sometimes the dominant political parties do not even come for citizens to assess them.
The average Nigerian, the voter, who has been waiting for funds to come on before they make their noises, the funds are not there as it used to be.
In advanced democracies, really, the major thing is to reach the individual. Political parties have a way of reaching the voters because that's the essence.
Others say the 2019 campaigns should be used as opportunity to highlight the issues that are yet to be addressed in the country.
The electorate, the people who are brought to the rallies, don't get to hear what the politicians are even saying, because there are those, yes, who understand the language of communication, which is usually English. There are those who do not, and therefore such people are likely to be at a disadvantage.
If we have few youths, demographically in Nigeria, who are well dedicated to social media, meaning they'll be politically more conscientized.
The guest also admitted that politicians should try to capture the votes of the undecided voters through one-on-one contact and other strategies. In Abuja, Morijana to Adam Said, NTA News.
And as Nigerians prepare for the 2019 elections, the Nigerian High Commissioner to Canada, Adeyinka Asheku, has conveyed the impression of some Nigerians in a few Canadian provinces about the current administration and its developmental strides in charting a new path to restore the country to its enviable position on the continent. Joy Osiago had a chat with the High Commissioner in Ottawa.
In the course of his tour of duty across Canadian provinces in 2018, High Commissioner Adeyinka Asheku interacted with many Nigerians who, in his opinion, are well-informed and passionate about the state of the nation Nigeria and what can be done collectively to take it to the next level of development.
Their feeling about what's going on back home right now is largely positive, to the extent that they believe that we're moving in the right direction. They get the sense that efforts geared towards restructuring the economy are on course and appropriate.
The ease of doing business ranking for Nigeria has also been a major boost, according to his analysis.
Things like our having moved up on the World Bank ease of doing business ranking by 24 positions in 1 year is no small feat. Or being regarded as one of the top 10 best performing economies by the World Bank is not a small feat. I also get the sense from talking to our people, Nigerians in Canada, that the government's effort geared towards battling corruption is well received and is something that they're quite pleased about. Our country can never make the kind of progress we want to make if corruption is not dealt with.
We know that Nigerians in the diaspora cannot participate in the 2019 general elections. However, they are fully involved in the process. And if you're wondering how, just stay with the NTA as we shall bring you details and subsequent reports from here. Till then, I am Joy Osiago, reporting for NTA News.
Thank you, Joy. And back home, a group known as Igala and Basa have formed an alliance towards the re-election of President Muhammadu Buhari in the February 16 general elections. Jacob Sani reports that the Buhari support group sealed the alliance at Ayingba, Dekina local government area of Kogi State.
Unity Square, popularly known as Igala Unity Runabout at Anyigba, was the meeting point of the people of Basaland, from where they move in convoy to the CMM Primary School field, venue of the rally. The Alliance for Buhari Continuity mentioned zero tolerance for corruption, good road network across the country, access to facilities for business development, housing for all segments in the society, school feeding, among others, were some of the selling points of President Muhammadu Buhari administration. The Buhari supporters call on sons and daughters of the area to bury their political and religious differences to vote massively for the continuation of the present administration in the country.
We are lucky at this time to have a quality leadership, a leadership that is consistent, a leadership of goodwill and strong will, a leadership that we can trust, and a leadership that is respected. We are here with this normal crowd to express our support for Baba Buhari for 2019.
I'm 101% sure that he's going to be re-elected based on his record of achievement. Every Nigerians should be aware that what has brought Nigerian backward has been corruption. And democracy also tells us that power belongs to the people. And we are going to use our power that is in us to elect President Muhammadu Buhari for the second term.
Igala Basa are the major tribes that make up Kogi East Senatorial District of the state. From Anyigba, I am Jacob Sani, NTA News.
The presidential candidate of People's Trust, Gbenga Olawokpo Hashim, has been officially presented to the public, just as candidates of the party vying for various offices also receive flags to kickstart their campaigns nationwide. Timothy Yusuf tells us more.
great flag to our presidential candidate in the hope of victory by God's grace in February.
It's a presentation of flag to the presidential candidate of People's Trust, Benga Olawepo Hashim, by the national chairman of the party, Olisa Agbakoba, signifies the official takeoff of the party's campaigns ahead of the coming elections. Benga Hashim says he will build a more united and prosperous Nigeria, leveraging on the nation's abundant mineral resources.
We are resolved to expand our economy to $4 trillion economy within 10 years. We will restructure the way power is organized between the states and the federal government.
The party's national chairman, Olisa Agbakoba, and director general of the Presidential Campaign Council, Habo Hashim, described their platform as the credible third force the nation has been waiting for. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
And governorship candidates in Niger State have signed a peace pact in Minna ahead of the March governorship election. The event was put together by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in collaboration with the Christian and Muslim Interreligious Peace Foundation. Suleiman Kodogi reports.
15 out of 31 governorship candidates in Niger State signed the peace pact with a promise to abide by the rules of the game in the interest of all. Other governorship candidates, including the state governor Abubakar Sani Bello, recontesting on the platform of All Progressive Congress, APC, were represented at the event. Niger State Resident Electoral Commissioner Professor Samuel Egu pledged the determination and commitment of the umpire to give all parties a level playing ground.
It is for their supporters and members of political parties to take a cue from that and behave accordingly.
Speaking on behalf of the other security agencies in the state, Commissioner of Police, represented by the Assistant Commissioner of Police, Babakura Muhammad, pledged that the police and other security operatives would be neutral, explaining that all political parties would be given equal protection before, during, and after the elections. The signing of peace pact by the candidates under the watchful eyes of security operatives and leaders of the two religious bodies signifies that the candidates have committed themselves to peaceful conduct of the general elections in the state. In Minna, Suleiman Kudogi, NTA News.
And still on the issue, as the 2019 general election approaches, the National Orientation Agency in Gombe State has launched an awareness campaign aimed at reducing incidents of void votes. Fatia Awal Abba reports.
The campaign was flagged off in order to prefer electorate towards casting their vote appropriately. It was observed that voided votes constitute significant percentage of voters cast in the country due to poor enlightenment. The campaign will therefore fill the vacant in creating awareness on how best to cast votes.
Continuation of Nigeria Decides 2019 Sensitization Awareness Campaign against vote buying and promoting peaceful election by the agency nationwide.
In the election, they should ensure that they vote correctly without invalidating their votes. They must recognize the symbol of the political party under whose candidature they want to vote.
Some stakeholders, including politicians, traditional rulers, and security agencies, describe the campaign as timely. The campaign will be conducted in all the states of the Northeast region. In Gombe, I am Fatia Awal Abba, NTA News.
Let's take more stories from our Lagos Network Center now, and Elizabeth Amori is our guide. It's over to you, Elizabeth.
Hello, Ogwa, and thanks for joining us in Lagos. The 75% performance of the 2018 budget, despite challenging circumstances and delay in passage, indicates that the federal government is focused on developing the country. Director General Budget Office Ben Akabweze, at an exclusive interview with NTA News, noted that the key assumptions in the 2019 budget are realistic. Abolade Salami reports.
Director General Budget Office Ben Akabweze
while analyzing the performance of the 2018 budget, said of the 75% performance, the federal government did not spend up to the projected amount on capital expenditure. He said about 2.2 billion naira, which was a shortfall of the budget, came from capital revenue.
Well, when you draw up a budget, you intend that it performs 100% and you work towards it. But the reality is that often you are not able to, to attain that. But when you do get a 75% performance, it's reasonable, especially in the challenging circumstances.
On the 2019 budget proposal, key assumptions and macro framework of 2.3 million barrels per day oil production and $60 per barrel oil price, as well as an exchange rate of 305 to $1 and an expected GDP growth rate of 3.01%. The DG gave his projection.
And so some of the commentators on the assumptions, I often say, are having the wrong, conversation. So if you say 2.3 million barrels per day production is unrealistic, what is it that makes it unrealistic? Does the country lack the technical capacity to achieve that? The answer is no.
He expressed optimism on the actualization of the 2019 budget, all things being equal. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
As the general election approaches, the Buhari Campaign House has been inaugurated in Oshodi area of Lagos. The All Progressives Congress Party faithful are optimistic that President Muhammadu Buhari will emerge winner, as well as other candidates of the party at the polls. That was the commissioning of the Buhari Campaign House, donated by Adebayo Thomas, Executive Director, National Film and Video Census Board. The donor disclosed that the building will serve as operational headquarters for party members to meet and facilitate plans ahead of the general elections.
Doing this is not actually even for Buhari, but believing in his drive to push the economy, to raise the country's name, has been doing in a couple of years. So this is like a think tank, it's the brain site of the campaign. This is an office that has 15 staff that will be attending to people and enlightening to people and meeting other stakeholders.
Party stalwarts also used the opportunity of the inauguration to enjoin members to obtain their permanent voter cards, as this is the only way the party can succeed at the polls.
The government has told us that all apparatus of government that are security-wise, paramilitary, military, police, and all the rest of them, will be on ground at every venue. We have been assured voting is to select the right, credible candidates that's going to lead, that's going to promote, that's going to make this country great. That's the purpose of election. I don't want problem before that time or during the elections too.
1,000 foot soldiers deployed to Oshodi's Solo area of the state also converged for training on electoral process and also provide them with educational materials to make their work effective. Adequate funding for clinical research in Nigeria will help in fighting and preventing outbreaks of diseases. Hingino John Adams in this report examines the role of clinical research in disease control.
Malaria is one of the diseases prevalent in Nigeria that cause many deaths, especially among pregnant women and children. Recent research institutions like the Nigerian Institute of Medical Research, Federal Medical Center Abuja, as well as other independent bodies.
Most drugs that are used for hypertension, diabetes, and fever, in Nigeria, were also tried in Nigeria to determine efficacy, tolerability, and side effects. Because these things have been done elsewhere may not directly translate to the fact that they will be safe among Nigerians.
All procedures would have to go through the phase of clinical trials. So you actually cannot bring up a new method, you can't bring up a new service, you can't bring up a new drug without clinical trials.
Stakeholders in the health sector say clinical research will assist medical researchers to find new therapies, evolve better approach to disease management, and develop new diagnostic tools. In Lagos, Hingino John Adams, NTA News.
Kaduna is our next port of call, and Rukaya Umar Farouk is our guide. It's nice to see you, Rukaya.
See you too, Elizabeth. Thank you and welcome to Kaduna. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has called on eligible voters to go to designated centers in their localities with a view to collecting their voter cards. This was at a meeting with traditional rulers in Kaduna. Abdullahi Muhammad tells us more.
It was a kind of a brief interactive meeting here with the resident electoral commissioner in Kaduna and the traditional rulers. He had the opportunity of explaining to them the fact that the commission has concluded the display of voter registers across various units in the country, and he also took time to explain to them the process each and every voter is going to go through while taking time to vote during the 2019 elections.
We urge the voters to come before 8 o'clock and the accreditation will start. And the difference between what happened in 2015, as I explained to the traditional rulers, now accreditation and voting is simultaneous. That is at the same time. One can go and be accredited. If is willing to stay up to the declaration of result, can do so. If not willing, after casting the vote, she or he will leave the polling station.
The traditional rulers also, had the opportunity to ask questions, especially regarding the prompt opening of, voter or polling centers across the state.
It is scheduled that the whole country will start by 8 o'clock in the morning. And we start by 8 o'clock in the morning. That will close doors where people will move from one place to the other.
The meeting ended with the traditional rulers giving assurance of the fact that they are going to take the message back home. In Kaduna, Abdullah Muhammad, NTA News.
Still on election matters, more groups have joined the Nigeria Peace Ambassador Innocent Dibia in the campaign for non-violence in the forthcoming general elections. Benny Adams reports that international observers, traditional rulers and civil society groups attended the non-violence peace concert held in Kaduna.
It's one attraction that Nigerian youths don't take lightly, and Two-Face is using this tool of social engineering to reach thousands of Nigerian youths to say no violence in these forthcoming general elections. And here at the Eradua Hall here in Kaduna, it is about the Vote Not Fight campaign being championed by Two-Face Idibia alongside other civil society organizations.
The potential of us together is greater than the potential of us divided, So, I always advocate for one Nigeria. I always advocate for be our brother's keeper. Our diversity should be a blessing for us. It should be something that would, be a very powerful source of richness in culture, in intelligence, in a whole lot of things.
So it does not end with the campaign, with the elections. It begins there and it continues on afterwards. That's what political participation is about. That's what civic participation is about.
We are asking politicians, especially during their campaign, to shun hate speeches and vituperative language and inciting disturbance. These are punishable offenses that the laws created and must be avoided.
In Kaduna, it is Benny Adams, NTA News.
And Nigeria Customs Service Zone B Federal Operations Unit Kaduna has apprehended a vehicle conveying illicit drugs along Kaduna Zaria Road with a duty-paid value of more than 15 million naira. Majama Adamu completes the report.
The drugs were intercepted through vigilance and intelligence gathering by officers and men of the Nigeria Customs Service along the Kaduna Zaria Road. This development was in addition to a series of seizures carried out by the command in the past 2 months across Kano, Jigawa and Katsina states, with 35 seizures involving about 2,000 bags of parboiled rice, 55 belts of second-hand clothes with a duty-paid value of 75 million naira carried out in Kano State alone.
They used milk, as you can see, to conceal. This is a locally produced milk, pig milk, to conceal the rice. we are working, and we will never relent in our efforts to make sure we bring down smuggling activities to its barest minimum.
The officers policing borders of Jibia and Adua in Kaduna State also intercepted over 4,000 bags of rice. In Kaduna, Jama Adamu, NTA News.
And religious disharmony are all traceable to the growing phenomenon of hate speech.
One nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
Armed Forces and National Security in focus. Plus, remembering the fallen heroes, all on NTA Tuesday Live this week. The program promises to be incisive and educative. Don't miss it.
The Candidates, a presidential town hall co-production between Daria Media and NTA, supported by the MacArthur Foundation. Kingsley Moghalu and running mate Omar Getso of the Young Progressive Party, Muhammadu Buhari and running mate Yemi Osinbajo of the All Progressives Congress, Omoyele Sowore and running mate Rabiu Ahmed Rufai of the African Action Congress, Atiku Abubakar and running mate Peter Obi of the People's Democratic Party. Moderator Kadria Ahmed. Next Town Hall, Wednesday, 16th January, with Muhammadu Buhari and running mate Yemi Osinbajo of the All Progressives Congress. Town Hall venue, Sheraton Hotel, Abuja, from 7 to 9 p.m. The candidates will be broadcast live on NTA and other partner TV and radio stations, as well as streamed online on NTA and DTV.media. If you're over 18 and want to be part of the audience, apply online at daria.media or use the hashtag NGTheCandidates or participate online using the hashtag NGTheCandidates.
The Honorable Minister of Defense, Mansur Dan Ali, on behalf of members of the Armed Forces, announces the activities in the 2019 Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration. The event started with a press briefing by the Honorable Minister of Defense on 12th October 2018, which was followed by an emblem appeal launch by His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari on 31st October 2018. Other activities lined up include Laying of Wreath, date Tuesday 15th January 2019, venue National Arcade, Abuja, time 9 a.m. The activities will also take place across the Federation on the same date and venue as designated by the various state governments. Join the armed forces in remembering the fallen heroes who sacrificed their lives for peace and security of our dear nation. Brigadier General John Agim, Acting Director, Defense Information, announcer.
This is to invite the general public to the formal presentation of the book Testing the Grade of Public Service, an autobiography of Malam Adamu Liman Chiroma, under the chairmanship of Malam Mahmoud Yayel Ahmed, Ajian Katagun. Book presenter, Alhaji Dr. Aminu Dantata. Book reviewer, Professor Abubakar Rashid, Executive Secretary, AUC. Chief host, Malam Nasir Ahmed El Rufai, Executive Governor, Kaduna State. Date, Saturday, 26 January 2019, by 9 a.m. at Arewa House, Kaduna. Announcer, Book Launch Committee.
Thank you for staying tuned. Nationwide continues now. The Nigerian police force says all the personnel attached to the Senate President Bukola Saraki and his family are intact, and all the statutory security protection accorded him at all times. Well, this is in reaction to a statement issued by the Senate President Bukola Saraki on an alleged attack on him in Kwara. Force Public Relations Officer, Acting Deputy Commissioner of Police, Jimoh Moshood, stated this at the force headquarters in Abuja.
The Nigerian Police Force is hereby assuring all Nigerians that the Nigerian Police Force has no any undisguised hostility to the Senate President or his supporters in Kwara State, or plan to jeopardize or undermine his personal security and that of his immediate and larger family. The force will continue to be apolitical and will ensure adequate security throughout the country for all political parties, their members and supporters before, during and after the 2019 general elections.
And on the recent breakthrough by the force on crime fighting, the force public relations officer says,
We have the recent achievement recorded by the operative of the Federal Special Anti-Robbery Squad, FEDRASAS, in the recovery of illegal and prohibited firearms, the arrest of vicious and notorious kidnap for ransom, armed robbery gang, car snatching gang, terrorizing some states in the southeast of Imo, Abia, and Enugu State.
The Nigerian police force says it will not relent in its efforts towards ridding the country of crimes and ensuring the protection of lives and property of citizens. And the federal government has continued to earn the commendation of motorists and passengers in Jigawa State for rehabilitating some of the roads linking Jigawa, Kano and Bauchi states, previously considered death traps, and describing the effort as yet another milestone achieved by the federal government towards achieving sustainable.
As well as Kano to Dusi, Kiawa to Bauchi state border roads were among those rehabilitated by Buhari-led administration to ease transportation difficulties and improve on human and economic development. Sharing their joyful experiences, especially during the just concluded end of year festivities, motorists and passengers plying the roads were full of praises to the federal government for taking the right steps toward achieving safe and efficient road networking system in the country.
This makes us easy in transportation, and also we are very happy, and we are very hopeful for this government to continue on success.
We have a drastic reduction in the rate of accidents. They, however, appeal to federal government to rehabilitate Jahun to Kapan Hausa and Gumel to Megaton roads to improve human mobility and economic growth in the region, as it is a border town with the Nigerian Republic. In Duse, Ibrahim Sani, NTA News.
Well, 2018 is another year that the aviation sector in Nigeria will always remember and wish subsequent years will be like. Apart from recording 0 domestic air crash, one of the country's airports was named Best in Safety in African Aviation 2018. Emmanuel Ayimiro, however, reports that the glorious moments were not without some lows as he reviews on the aviation sector in 2018.
Smooth and safe landing of aircraft became the hallmark of 2018, with the installation of modern navigational aids, including instrument landing system, communication equipment, and air surveillance to improve air safety in Nigerian airports.
We put a brand new ILS in Kaduna. We've started work on a new ILS in Maiduguri. We are going to be installing in Port Harcourt, Benin, and Akure. We are going to be also installing in Mina and Jos. We have approval to install Category 3 ILSs in Lagos and Abuja.
In preparation for predicted multiplication of passenger traffic in the near future, the federal government completed and inaugurated new international airport terminal buildings in Port Harcourt and Abuja, which were regarded as significant landmark for international travelers.
Nigeria is moving towards meeting global aviation standards in facilitation, passenger processing, and service delivery in tandem with international best practices.
Lagos and Kano airports' new terminal building completion are underway. Apart from the fact that Nigeria passed ACAO safety audit, the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport Abuja received an award for the best in African safety in aviation in 2018.
Only maybe 3 or 4 countries that have certified airports in Africa. So Nigeria is the first. This certification program started 11 years ago, but we couldn't achieve anything. But during this administration, we were able to achieve 2 airports and 4 are in the pipeline.
Foreign airlines that come into Nigeria pay little or no premium to land into these 2 airports. And you can see that's why most of them have started coming back to this country. So I think that's an excellent thing to this country.
Nigeria's quest for intermodal transport recorded a milestone in 2018 with the linking of Abuja Airport Light Rail, the first of its kind in West Africa. What could have been a crowning glory for the sector, a national air carrier project, which was launched in Farnborough International Air Show in London, was stepped down. That notwithstanding, the establishment of aviation leasing company and a maintenance, repairs and overhaul facility expected to provide opportunity for local airlines operators to acquire aircraft is still in the offing.
The MRO is
More indigenous airlines also sprang up in the year under review, and old ones expanding the fleet. While new aviation players are smiling, the old ones, whom had been sad and resigned to faith, ended the year laughing aloud as the Buhari administration commenced the payment of 45 billion naira gratuity for more than 5,000 retirees of the defunct Nigerian Airways. Emmanuel Ayemiro, NTA News.
Let's go over now to Benin, where Obey is standing by with more news. It's over to you, Obey.
Thank you, Ogwa, for joining us in Benin. Just about a month to the general elections, APC Presidential Campaign Council in Edo State has been inaugurated. Governor Godwin Obaseki, while performing the inauguration, charged the council to put in place strategies that would lead to the success of the party. Goodluck Inaini reports.
The campaign council has Governor Godwin Obaseki as chairman, his deputy Philip Shaibu, vice chairman, and the SSG Osaradio Oge as director general.
So I expect that you will bring the benefit of your knowledge, your resources, your contacts, your relationship, and your experience to bear in ensuring that we just don't deliver President Buhari, but we deliver a million votes for President Buhari in the state.
Members of the council are not leaving anything to chance.
Buhari will have victory. We double the votes for 2014. We will more than double the votes. Minimum. I will try to return all APC candidates. I know almost everybody here that is in the campaign council. They are very capable hands, and we want to assure you that we do our best.
With the council in place, APC in Edo State wants all eligible voters to vote the party in order to consolidate on the successes recorded. In Benin, Goodluck Inaini, NTA News.
And still on election, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is meeting with traditional rulers across the country ahead of the elections. Ogochuka Ona caught up with the meeting in Benin City. Ogo, what's the agenda?
Thank you very much, Obey. It is 32 days to the general elections, beginning with that of the presidential and the National Assembly elections on the 16th of February. INEC has been in the forefront in this process. It has been meeting with key players, and today's meeting with the traditional rulers under the auspices of the Edo Traditional Rulers Council is one of them. I have with me here the National Commissioner supervising Edo, Bayelsa, and Rivers States. She is Mrs. May Agbamuche Mbu. She's going to tell us why this meeting was convened. Ma, can we have a little of what transpired in there?
Yes, thank you very much. INEC, right across the country at this point in time, is meeting with all the traditional rulers in all our zones. And I'm privileged to be here in Edo State, the most peaceful state that I supervise. And our meeting really is to sensitize the traditional rulers on what INEC is doing going forward and what we have done already in preparation for this 2019 election. And our intention is that they will now speak with their subjects, encourage their subjects to vote their conscience, not get involved in vote buying, and to help us make this election a truly, truly peaceful election.
All right, so there were some policies INEC has just come up with, including that there will be a ban on the use of mobile phones. Can you tell us more on that and some other policies put in place?
Yes, INEC has banned the use of mobile phones because, you see, people go out to vote, and at the voting point, they take photographs of the parties that they have voted for, and then they turn around and collect money in the process. And, you know, we're trying to curb vote buying to the best of our ability, and so INEC has banned the use of mobile phones at the elections. So we're doing the best that we can to make sure that a lot of all these excesses are not going to play a part in this election.
Okay, what about card readers?
Our card readers have been enhanced, and we've done a lot of work on the card readers. We have done it in such a way that it's not easy to open take out the batteries during the election. So there's no, and if you have a problem with a card reader, we can replace this as fast as we can.
Okay, so at the end of this meeting, what is INEC expecting from the traditional rulers?
Our traditional rulers, thankfully, have been very, very supportive, and we must give them credit for the support that they have given us. The Oba of Benin very recently spoke to his chiefs regarding how they can support INEC during this election.
Okay, so other than the traditional rulers, which other key players is INEC meeting again?
Tomorrow we're meeting the religious leaders, and this is happening again right across the country. And I'll be here again in Edo State to meet all the religious leaders.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Obey is back to you. And now to security matters. In what seems stranger than fiction, a 35-year-old man has allegedly murdered his wife and 2 children in Benin. The suspect is currently in police custody. Ivie Omoroyi reports from the police headquarters where the suspect was paraded along others. Ivie, it's over to you.
Thank you so much, Obey. This is the police headquarters here in Benin City. Earlier, the Commissioner of Police had briefed the press on his achievements so far. If you can recall, he resumed duty on the 2nd day of January.
But I'm banking on a proactive, number 13, and confrontational policing strategy of taking war to the den of the criminals. We are not going to wait for them to strike. We want to face them headlong.
Today we have over 100 suspects here, currently under the custody of the police. And now the most recent one, which is making waves in Benin City, is the fact that a 35-year-old man killed his 2 sons and also his wife.
I don't really know what happened, what come over me. I mistakenly fired my wife and my children inside the house. I said, God, what have I done?
Why you fired them?
The bullet was inside. I don't know how it exploded.
The Commissioner of Police, Mr. Akim, is going to tell us more about the case and what the police will do to ensure that he is brought to book.
Ours is just to finish all the investigation, including postmortem of the victims. So they are in the mortuary now, so we do the postmortem, we do everything that law says we should do. They will now push to judiciary for final onslaught.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, the good news is the fact that 100 phones and GSM have been released to different police stations in Benin City and even in Edo State. Now, you may ask what the essence is. It's for direct access to the police station. Most times when people complain about not reaching police officers, now these lines that the Commissioner of Police has brought will help do that. Now, Obey is back to you for the continuation of Nationwide.
Thank you, Ivie. That's it from Benin. Let's now join Sadia in Sokoto for more on Nationwide.
Welcome to Seats of the Caliphate. 100 hectares of sugarcane plantation have been destroyed by wildfire at Fadama Gaitari community in Gondo local government area of Kebbi State. Usman Abdullahi Shehu reports that the unfortunate incident happened as a result of bush burning by a farmer in the area.
Like rice, Kebbi State is determined to be the leading state in biofuel production in the country, with the formal signing of agreement between the state government and the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation on ethanol production, which sugarcane is a key ingredient. The destruction of hundreds of hectares of sugarcane by the fire, worth millions of naira, and over 500 farmers affected can be seen as a setback. Some of the affected farmers narrated that the incident happened when a farmer tried to burn grasses and the fire went out of control, spreading quickly to the neighboring farms. The farmers said they have spent about a year nursing the crop that is now destroyed by the inferno, appealing to government to assist them. For now, they said they have no seedlings for the next cultivation season. Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, who sympathized with the victims over the tragedy, also assured that government will assist them to cushion their hardship.
Even though the fire incident was caused by a farmer, what is commendable is that our farmers are not playing blame games. They accepted it at the will of God, and I assure them that the state will support them to the fullest.
The State Emergency Management Agency have already documented all losses as a result of the incident. In Birnin Kebbi, Usman Abdullahi Shehu, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has called on traditional and religious leaders to work towards ensuring sustainable peace and security for the overall development of the country. The president made the call in a message to the National Maulud of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, organized by Tijaniya movement in Birnin Kebbi. Nuratan Kwakili reports.
The National Maulud, which was attended by thousands of Tijaniya adherents from within and outside Nigeria, was organized to show gratitude to Allah for blessing the humanity with Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. President Muhammadu Buhari, represented by the Attorney General of the Federation, Barrister Abubakar Malami, urged Muslims to emulate the virtues of Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him in their lives.
Having in place leaders that have the fear of God, that will bring the desired development, desired security, and desired infrastructural development to our great nation.
The Kebbi State Governor, Senator Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, emphasized the role of Tijaniya movement in preaching peaceful coexistence in Nigeria and other African countries.
This is an important achievement, and to always welcome people of knowledge in our midst so that they can elevate our understanding, they can make us reflect on those important values that are very, very important to building a harmonious, peaceful society.
Special prayers led by the worldwide leader of the movement was offered for peace, security and prosperity in Nigeria. In Birnin Kebbi, Nuratan Kwakili, NTA News.
Indiscriminate dumping of refuse has become one of the major environmental problems threatening the health of many people around the world. Sheikh Muhammad Dati is live at the central city of Sokoto and tells us more.
Hello viewers, we are reaching you from Tuta Road, and behind us is one of the places where people dump refuse within the state. And by my left hand side is one of the secondary schools in Sokoto State, and the road is leading to Sokoto Central Market. By my far right now is leading you to the central city of Sokoto. I have with me Dr. Ayuba Asebe, who is an environmentalist and a public health expert, who will be talking to us on the dangers associated with accumulation of this kind of heap of refuse unevacuated. Doctor, tell our viewers, what is the possible outcome of this kind of heap of refuse?
Garbage of this type that is being dumped, particularly where you have people moving around, constitutes not only an eyesore, but equally a health hazard, because it is actually a breeding ground for various kinds of small animals, be them rodents, cockroaches, and not only that, microbes as well. As you can see, the nature of the waste being deposited here. And so what actually happens is that even the air that circulates here is itself polluted. So in reality, it is a very serious component that facilitates people getting infected with series of upper respiratory tract infections and the rest of it.
Thank you very much. Because there is Dr. Ayuba Asebe Umar, environmentalist and a public health expert, speaking to us on the dangers associated with accumulating such HEPA prepuce unevacuated. It's back to you in the studio for continuation of Nationwide. Good afternoon.
That's all from this end. Nationwide news continue in Abuja after this commercial break.
Democratically affords a level playing field for everyone who carries the will and courage to lead a people in the right direction.
I wish to call on women to go and spread the good news and accomplishment of the present administration.
Women inevitably are the right source to pave this path that can bring good governance, structural stability, rapid economic growth, and basic human rights to all its citizenry. There is no better time than now to experience their prowess in this era, when women all over the world are showing that they have the right tools to build a nation. The Buhari-led administration and APC have aligned with its purpose to involve women with the right vision. The idea is not just for participation, but inclusive participation.
We can exert more power than we would have individually in garnering the majority of registered women and youth voters to vote for the Buhari Osibanjo team come 2019.
This is what change is all about. This is the vision of the All Progressives Congress. This is for a new Nigeria.
My name is Shinazu Gochku. I'm from Imo State. I have been doing business in this area since past 7 years without any help. When I had this government something that's helping people, I go to them. They give me money. I have got 50,000 from them, and I pay back. I pray to God, let government give to other people so that the money will prosper to everybody. As I myself, I'm very happy, and my family. I pray God to give to other people so that they will enjoy this money with me and enjoy this government with me.
Please listen to this announcement. As part of activities to ensure the smooth celebration of the 2019 Armed Forces Remembrance Day Parade on 15th January 2019, the general public is hereby informed